Good morning students, Renuka Nannoji here, 9th standard Russian Revolution. Many concepts we have covered. In today's class, the Russian Empire in 1914. Let us study about it. How was Russian Empire in the year 1914? Okay, the Russian Empire in 1914 was ruled by Tsar Nicholas II. Tsar Nicholas II was ruling Russian Empire in 1914. Territories of Russian Empire were Moscow, Finland, Lithuania, Estonia, parts of Poland, etc. These were the parts of Russian Empire, and majority religion was Russian Orthodox Christianity. Which was the majority religion? Russian Orthodox Christianity. And other religions were Catholics, Protestant, Buddhist, Muslims, etc. This was the Russian Empire in 1914. Then how was the economy and society? Let us study. How was the economy and society of Russia? Okay, first point, 85% of the Russian economy was sustained by agriculture. It means the main occupation was agriculture. Industries were very few. Prominent industrial areas were St. Petersburg and Moscow. So these were the main centers of industries. Okay, and in 1890, with the expansion of Russian rail network, foreign investment in industries increased and industries were privately owned. See, in 1890 what happened? There was expansion of railway network. Okay, due to this lot of industries started growing, and even foreign investment also in industries. Foreigners started investing money in the industries. Due to this also there was an industrial growth. There was an industrial growth for two reasons. One is because of the railway network, expansion of Russian railway network. Second is foreign investment in industries. These two reasons led to the growth of industries in Russia. But industries were privately owned. These were not government industries. These were owned by private individuals. Okay, large factories were under government supervision. It means they were just supervising. Large factories were under the supervision of the government, but it was run by the individuals but supervised by the government. Large factories. Small factories and all were owned by the individuals only. Large were supervised by the government. Okay, still factory rules were broken in craft units and small workshops. See here, everywhere there will be rules, but if we follow the rules, then definitely society will be running smoothly. There will be no problems for anyone. But if we start breaking the rules of the government, definitely problems will arise. The same thing happened in the Russian society, where rules were broken in the craft units and in the small workshops. Rules were followed in the big industries, large industries, because government was supervising. But what about the craft units and the small workshops? Here there was lot of torture because the owners only made the rules, okay, and those rules were not in welfare of the public or the laborers. Okay, coal production doubled and iron and steel output quadrupled. It means there was a very good growth in the coal and iron and steel. In craft unit and small workshops, the working day was sometimes 15 hours compared with 10 or 12 hours in factories. See here in the small workshops, 15-hour working for the laborers was there, which is really impossible. Okay, that was there. 15 hours the laborer has to work in the small workshops and all. Okay, in the big factories, what is the working hour? 10 or 12 hours. So both the sides, when you see, working hours was more only, because 8 hours is sufficient, but here 12 to 15 hours is dangerous. Okay, workers were divided by skill as a social group. It means according to their skill they were divided into groups. For instance, metal workers were considered as aristocrats as they were more trained and skilled. It means among the workers also there were some status or hierarchy, what to call it as. Now how first estate, second estate, third estate we studied in France. Okay, rich class, middle class and the lower class we study. In the same manner, among the laborers also categories were done. Like the skilled workers were called as aristocrats. It means they were respected, they were treated good because they were the metal workers, and they were considered as aristocrats. Despite the divisions, workers were united about and dismissal and work condition. It means even though among the workers some were skilled, some were semi-skilled, okay, some were unskilled. So there were different categories. Even though these categories were there, they were united, especially when it comes to dismissal policy or related to work condition. They all used to raise their voice against the capitalist or the owner of the industry. Women made up 31% of the factory labor force by 1914, but they were paid less than men. It means women were also working in the industry. 31% of the factory workers were women, but only thing is that salary was less for women compared to men. Okay. Divisions among workers showed themselves in dress and manners too. It means among workers, I told you that they divided the workers according to skill, and accordingly the uniforms were given. Dress was decided. It means divisions among workers showed themselves in dress and manners too. How the first estate, second estate people had their own dressing sense, in the same manner among the workers also there was dress and manners. Some workers formed their association. So like this the life was going on, but suddenly slowly what happened is, as there is awareness of socialism, okay, people like Karl Marx, Robert Owen, all these are enlightening the public. During this time what happened is, strikes took place frequently in the textile industries during 1896 and 1897. Why strikes took place? Because they were demanding for reduction in the working hours. They were demanding for right to vote, etc. So there were certain demands. They were demanding for the improvement of working condition. So the strikes took place in the textile industry. Even in the metal industry also, what had happened? In the year 1902, strikes took place. These strikes will show you that now there is a awareness among the laborers. They have formed their association and they are fighting against the capitalist, because now they understood that even they are human beings and their hard work should be recognized. Okay, hard work should be paid off. So this was how economy and society description I have given. In the next concept we will study continued economy and society. It means I am going to discuss again under the same heading, economy and society only. It will be continued, because farmers condition we need to discuss, because just now we completed only about the laborers, factory workers. Okay, thank you.